So whether you're in customer service, in sales, at any level, you have to find out what the client's motivation is, right? How do you do that so far? So let me give you a little assessment. It's called a gap assessment. Gap. Number one, everybody wants something for a reason. You have a target market. You better know why they would want to work or change with you. So what are the top reasons that people want to come to you?
Individuality.
Quality, absolutely. Individuality, say more about that.
Basically, everybody's selling the same product. Here we are, we're coming along with an equal to better product. They're individual, they're breaking out of the pack.
So there's this feeling of being breaking out of the pack or industry leader. Good one, right? You need to know the top three. Does that make sense? And we could spend a couple weeks working on that, but you need to know what they really want at a heart level. Maybe it's that person that's making the decisions or taking you to the decision maker, and he wants the project to go well because he needs something that he can show off his skills at. And not in a bad show-off way or braggart kind of way, but more of a way of saying, this is what I'm capable of, give me more. Maybe he's looking for a success or she's looking for a success underneath their belt. That's what you're there for. But there's something emotional that they're looking for. It's called, their need. And it's not about the stuff of, it's usually at an emotional level. Now here's where we make our biggest mistake in selling. We skip this altogether and we start talking about our stuff. I actually have an exercise where I take people around and I give them something simple to sell and I tell them that they can't talk about the features. You want to look at confused people? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's one you can add into. I'm sure these guys would love it if we had time. But when you think about not talking about the technical information around your business and you got to just talk about the benefit to the client, it's tough. But that's what your client needs to hear. They need to hear some of the technical stuff too, but they really want to know what's it going to do for me personally. Will it make me look better in the company? Will it give me what I want to do? Can I earn influence and credibility? So those are important. Number two is there's a reality. The reality is that they're using stuff already. And you've got to say to yourself, okay, they're using stuff. Is it creating what they want it to? Well, it might be giving them everything that they need. From a physical perspective, does the job okay, no big deal, nothing to it. You got to find out what the reality is. What have they tried before? Well, we tried making a switch before, it was chaos. Don't want to do that again. Or we got this problem on the line with the machine, with the vendor, with supply. Any of that sound familiar? There's a reality to what their experience is. So your questions need to be targeting the reality. The third is the difference between the two. If you have a client, a potential prospect that you're talking with, and they have the perfect solution already, they have no negative things to say about it, the price is reasonable, they're happy with the quality, they're getting great service, does it make a sense to you that they have zero need? Therefore, the gap between what their experience is and what you can offer them doesn't exist yet. So there's no gap, no motivation. Remember you guys were talking about motivation? If their system just blew apart and they were down for 2 days, are they motivated? I see smiles on some faces like, oh, yeah, it's opportunity. Yeah. There's an old story that's it's been passed down. I've heard it many times. But there's a massive plant and they basically, every minute that the machine's down, it costs them $100,000. Okay? Big machine. So all of a sudden the machine goes down, the manager comes out, everybody's screaming and yelling, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're checking everything that they know, they go through the procedural manual, can't find out what's going on, and so they're at wit's end, and the manager says, phone somebody! So they phone in the expert from the company that actually manufactured the machine. So the expert comes in, he's there, and they say, fix it. So he listens to everything that they're telling him. This is what happened. So he walks over to the machine. He pulls up a panel, pulls out a small little screwdriver, sticks it in one little slot, and turns it about 10 degrees. Machine starts up, everybody's happy and excited. Whew. Saved a lot of money, right? I already lost a couple $1,000,000, but we're good to go. And he says, send me the invoice. So he writes out the invoice, he hands it to him. And the manager looks and he says, for $10,000? Are you serious? The guy's gasping. He says, rips it up. He says, give me a detailed description of what you did here. So he goes and he writes it out again, pulls out his invoice, writes it all out. And this is what he put on there. He said, for turning the screw, $1. For knowing which screw to turn, $9,999. That's what you bring to the table, the knowing how. It's not about the film, it's not about the product, it's not about the graphic, not about the stuff, it's about knowing what they want. So the gap assessment's critical. If you don't know the gap assessment, there's no motivation, don't bother going another step farther until you have motivation. You keep looking for motivation. That's your goal. Don't bother trying to get a proposal in. Don't bother trying to give them information. If you don't know that part of it, forget the rest, because anything you send them will be just you going through the motions, spending a lot of time, doing a lot of work for nothing.